Welcome to the CCNH VISTA program August virtual meeting on mental health, stress, and self-care. I'm Ariel Kaptein, the CCNH VISTA leader, and I've pulled together a variety of resources to help you take care of your well-being all the time, but especially as we all cope with the COVID-19 pandemic. Please note that I am not a medical professional and this does not constitute medical advice. This presentation is meant to provide a basic understanding of the topics and resources to help you get more information. Today we are going to check your battery and discuss mental health, stress, and self-care. And since we aren't able to be together to do an activity, we will wrap up with an assignment that you will complete on your own and share with me. Let's start with checking your battery. How are you feeling? Are you feeling great? Good? Okay? Meh. Are you struggling? Or are you running on empty? Make a note and we will revisit this later in the presentation. So what is mental health? According to mentalhealth.gov, mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Your mental health can affect your physical health and general well-being. Positive mental health allows people to realize their full potential, cope with the stresses of life, work productively, and make meaningful contributions to their communities. We will cover more of these in the self-care section, but you can maintain positive mental health by getting professional help if you need it, connecting with others, staying positive, getting physically active, helping others, getting enough sleep, and developing coping skills. Stress can impact your mental and physical health. Here are 5 things the National Institute of Mental Health highlights as things to know about stress. First, stress affects everyone. Stressors can be one-time, short-term, or long-term, and they can be everyday pressures related to work or family. They can be sudden negative change, such as illness or separating from a partner, or they can be traumatic incidents, such as a major accident or natural disaster. Second, not all stress is bad. Distress, the bad stress, is what most people think of when they think of stress. In a dangerous situation, stress signals the body to prepare to face a threat or flee to safety. In these situations, your pulse quickens, you breathe faster, your muscles tense, and your brain uses more oxygen and increases activity, all functions aimed at survival and in response to stress. Eustress, the good stress, can help motivate you and provide you with positive energy to complete a task. Third, long-term stress can harm your health. Everything from your immunity to sleep to digestion. And over time, it can lead to serious health problems such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and mental disorders like depression and anxiety. Fourth, there are many ways to manage stress. The following can help you cope with stress. Be observant. Recognize the signs of your body's response to stress, such as difficulty sleeping, increased alcohol or other substance use, being easily angered, feeling depressed, and having low energy. Talk to your healthcare provider or a health professional. Don't wait for your healthcare provider to ask about your stress. Start the conversation and get proper healthcare for existing or new health problems. Effective treatments can help if your stress is affecting your relationships or ability to work. Get regular exercise. Just 30 minutes per day of walking can help boost your mood and improve your health. Try a relaxing activity. Explore relaxation or wellness programs, which may incorporate meditation, muscle relaxation, or breathing exercises. Schedule regular times for these and other healthy and relaxing activities. Set goals and priorities. Decide what must get done now and what can wait. Learn to say no to new tasks if you start to feel like you're taking on too much. Try to be mindful of what you have accomplished at the end of the day, not what you have been unable to do. Stay connected. You are not alone. Keep in touch with people who can provide emotional support and practical help. To reduce stress, ask for help from friends, family, and community or religious organizations. Finally, if you are overwhelmed with stress, seek help from a healthcare professional. There are many resources available to help you find a provider. Some of these are provided in the resource packet and later on in the presentation. According to an article published by the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley, the COVID-19 pandemic is impacting our mental health in many ways. For some, it is causing an increase in anxiety and depression. It is causing some people to feel lonelier, which is especially true for people under age 30, and domestic violence has increased. How each of us is feeling is entirely based on what we have going on, how the pandemic personally impacts us, etc. Some things you can do right now to support your mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic include focusing on the things that are within your control, including your goals, what you eat, what you wear, what you do. Limiting your social media intake, aka no doom scrolling, and be respectful of your own limits. I was listening to a presentation provided by my health insurance about happiness, and they touched on this, and the presenter said that she has set a 15-minute time limit for herself for Twitter, because more than that, and it negatively impacts her. But she still wants to be able to check in on the news. And do things that make you feel better, which we will discuss more later. But most importantly, know that no matter what you are feeling right now, it is okay to feel that way. Your feelings are valid. Now it's time to discuss self-care and how we can all work on keeping our distress down and improving our overall well-being. What is self-care? Self-care is something that we do on purpose to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. Self-care activities should refuel you. There are many types of self-care. Here are some of the more commonly listed ones. Physical. Taking care of our bodies, including eating, staying hydrated, getting enough sleep, exercising, etc. Examples include eating fruits and vegetables every day, drinking a set amount of water every day, going for walks or bike rides, giving yourself a set bedtime, etc. Emotional. Becoming more in tune with our emotions, checking in with yourself, being mindful of your stressors, and working on ways to get through them. Examples include journaling, meditation, and expressing yourself through a creative outlet like painting, writing, cooking, etc. Spiritual. This isn't necessarily religious, though it can be. It means nourishing your soul, striving for inner peace, and seeking to find purpose and meaning in life. Meditation, spending time in nature, and supporting your favorite charity are all examples. Intellectual. These are activities that nourish and challenge your mind, expanding your knowledge, learning a new skill, etc. This could be reading a book, learning a new language, watching a documentary, etc. Social. We are by nature social beings. Social self-care looks different for different people, but it is connecting with others on some level. Examples include spending time with friends, calling a family member, or striking up a conversation at the coffee shop. Sensory. Sensory self-care nourishes your senses, which help to bring your mind to the current moment. Activities could be listening to music, lighting a candle that you like, or walking barefoot on the grass. Financial. Financial self-care is being responsible with your finances, such as saving money, creating and following a monthly budget, paying your bills on time, and splurging every once in a while. Work. Most people spend 5 days or 40 hours a week, if not more, at work. So work-related self-care is important. This includes setting boundaries, taking breaks, and managing your time. Since we spend so much of our time at work, I wanted to touch on self-care and work a bit more. Some additional ways to practice self-care at work include getting up from your desk from time to time. Do you have a Fitbit? Make sure you have it set to remind you to get your steps in hourly. Take a break from your work to eat your lunch, and even better, eat it away from your desk. Take a few minutes to do some office or chair yoga or stretches. When I'm in an office, I keep a little cheat sheet of chair stretches, and I set a reminder on my to-do app to do my stretches halfway through the day. If you have a door, close it for a few minutes to meditate. And if you don't have a door, you could also step outside for a few minutes. Know that it's okay to say no. In general, be mindful of your workload and know your limitations, but especially as a VISTA, know what you are and are not permitted to do. Finally, set boundaries for your work-life balance. Also of importance is self-care as it relates to social media. As we talked about earlier, social media can have an impact on our stress and mental health, so we should all practice self-care when it comes to our use of social media. You can take a break, whether it's a day, a week, whatever, set a time frame and take a break from all your social media. Remember that you control who you like, follow, etc. So if someone is constantly sharing things that are not good for you or your mental health, or they're really stressing you out, you can mute them for a time frame, unfollow them, or unfriend them. Finally, use your phone, tablet, or laptop to set restrictions. There are a variety of free websites and apps that block your use of set websites during set time frames that you choose. I'm not sure about all devices, but I know on the iPhone, which is what I have, you can set a time limit on apps as well, and it reminds you when it's time to turn off the app. So what is and isn't self-care? Real self-care is fueling your body with foods that give you energy and help you improve mentally and physically. It's drinking water, being kind to yourself, setting boundaries, spending time with people who enrich your life, treating yourself to something new because you love yourself, and moving your body. Self-care is not dieting, using alcohol or drugs, talking down to yourself to motivate you, saying yes to everyone because you're a nice person, socializing because of FOMO, buying anything that promises to make you love yourself more, or working out as a punishment or attending a class that shames your eating habits or appearance. Now that you know what self-care is, let's talk about how you start getting into a self-care routine. There are 3 things to do to get you going. First, you should identify your stressors and stress levels. What's causing your stress? What physical, psychological, emotional, and behavioral effects is that stress having on you? Next, evaluate your coping skills. What positive and negative coping skills do you use? Make sure to be honest with yourself. Healthy coping skills include exercising, listening to music, engaging in a hobby, and doing breathing exercises, while negative coping skills include yelling, overeating, and biting your fingernails, just to name a few. Finally, identify your self-care needs. What do you currently do to practice self-care? Do you do more in one area of self-care than another? What else can you do for self-care? There are a few common self-care mistakes to be aware of. First is not having an easy plan. If you don't have an easy plan to follow, it will be even easier to forget about practicing your self-care. Second is doing things you don't enjoy. Remember, self-care should refuel you, which means it should be activities you like doing. For example, you don't have to run as your mode of exercise if you don't like running. Try walking or biking or anything else that gets you moving. Last is trying to change everything at once. Don't try to take on multiple new self-care habits all at once, or try to go from nothing to doing something every single day. Build them into your routine slowly over time. That brings us to our assignment. Since we can't be together to do an activity, we instead are going to ask everyone to complete this assignment on their own. Now that you know what self-care is and how it can help your mental, physical, and emotional health, create a self-care plan for yourself. I'll share a few examples in a moment, but feel free to be as simple or creative as you wish. You can create a calendar, or a list, or a chart. Just make sure it works for you. Pick a few of the types of self-care we talked about and think about what you can do for yourself in those areas. Not sure where to start or want some more ideas? There are a few more examples in the resource guide, but Google and Pinterest are great places to look as well. You need to send your self-care plan to me, Ariel, no later than end of day on Monday, August 31st. Please be sure to let me know if you would like for it to be kept confidential or if you're okay with me sharing it in our Facebook group with your fellow current Vistas and our Vista alum. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. Here is a quick example I put together for me based on things I'm already doing for self-care. For physical, I meal plan all of our dinners, and I walk my dog Sky every day. He's in the picture in the top row. For intellectual, I try to read a little bit every day. Even if it's just a few pages of the book that I'm currently reading, I try to get to some every single day. For social, I exchange snaps on Snapchat with my friends and spend time with family. You can see in the bottom row that's a picture of my husband and myself with both of our families. For sensory, I have an essential oil stick that I rub on my temples and an acupressure mat that I lay on. And finally, for work, I only work during work hours. So, for example, I don't read work emails in the evenings or on weekends. And I try to clean up my inbox and organize my emails every day because it helps me to perform at my best. This is an example I found in Canva. If you want to practice self-care by getting enough sleep every night, you could create something like this where you track what time you go to sleep and wake up and how much sleep you get each night. You could do a similar type of tracker for exercise, drinking water, eating right, etc. Or you could do a more broad tracker and have a variety of self-care practices in the days of the week and track that way. There are many examples out there. Again, create something that works for you. I put most of my self-care practices into my to-do app because I use that to manage my day every single day. If you also use an app to plan or track your self-care, just take a screenshot of what you do and send that to me for your submission of your assignment. Before we go, let's check in on your battery again. Now that you know more about self-care, how can you use it to increase or maintain your battery levels? If you're feeling great, keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're feeling good, how can you maintain the levels that you're at? If you're feeling okay, how can you make your day a teeny bit better? If you're meh, what can you do to be a little extra kind to yourself today? If you're struggling, what area of your life is suffering most right now? Focus there to start. And if you're running on empty, figure out what's draining you and try to create a boundary and then do something that fills you back up. If you need mental health services, there are a variety of resources available. If you are having a crisis, you can call the Mobile Crisis Response Team at 800-688-3544. The Mobile Crisis Response Team is available day or night and can provide a personalized evaluation of your circumstances. They're based out of the Mental Health Center in Manchester. 211 is New Hampshire's first statewide comprehensive information and referral service. Thanks to a unique coalition of nonprofit, government, corporate, and volunteer partners, New Hampshire residents need only dial 211 to be connected at no cost with trained information and referral specialists who can provide them with mental health and human service information they need to get help, give help, or discover options. You can reach them by calling 211 or visit www.211nh.org. You can also call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration National Helpline at 1-800-622-HELP. That's 1-800-622-4357 for 24/7 treatment referral and information. As a VISTA, you can also speak with a psychiatrist or therapist via teledoc. You can call 1-800-TELEDOC, that's 1-800-835-2362, or visit teledoc.com/therapy. For additional resources, you can check out the webinars available in VISTA campus, including mental health, stress and resilience, avoiding burnout during service, and time management. You can look through the resource guide attached to my email as well. You can also search self-care on Pinterest to get a lot of ideas for self-care activities and see examples of a variety of plans. And you can go to Google if you have more questions. Just make sure you're using a reputable source. One final thought. I happened to see this Insta story from Holly Blanchard while I was working on the presentation, and it seemed like the perfect way to close out today's presentation. Remember, well-being is a journey, not a race. Thank you for listening to the CCNH VISTA program presentation on mental health, stress, and self-care. Don't forget to send your self-care plan to me by the end of the day on Monday, August 31st. If you have any questions, want to talk through some ideas, etc., please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you think that monthly check-ins with me would be beneficial to you and your year of service, go ahead and include those on your plan and we can get those set up